And let's begin with all of the speculation that's been on for weeks now over a cabinet rejig in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet. Now, India Today has learnt that this reshuffle could happen as early as this week itself, and a key meeting to make that happen is slated to take place today at the Prime Minister's residence. Sources have in fact told India Today that civil aviation, education, culture and power ministry may see some new faces. That's not all. India Today has learnt that BJP MPs from Uttar Pradesh, from Maharashtra as well as Madhya Pradesh are likely to be inducted in this rejig. Now, BJP allies JDU as well as LJP's Paras faction may also get a berth in this cabinet reshuffle. As per sources, a cabinet rejig is aimed at doing a mid-term course correction and also shape up administrative governance. More importantly, the Modi government aims to correct regional representation ahead of the assembly elections, which is slated to happen in 5 states next year. A Prime Minister cabinet can have an 81-member council. Currently, Prime Minister Modi's cabinet has 53 ministers. So, as we speak, there are 28 ministerial posts that lie vacant. Let's get you the latest updates on the Punjab Congress infighting. Remember, the disgruntled Navjot Singh Sidhu met with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi last week in the national capital. And now Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh is likely to be meeting with Party President Sonia Gandhi today. This comes amid the ongoing tussle between Amrinder and Sidhu, which has been a huge cause of concern for the party high command, considering that the assembly polls in the state are due next year.
The fierce Sardar versus Sardar battle in Punjab is giving Congress rank and file the jitters. Captain Amrinder Singh, the powerful Chief Minister, is facing an open rebellion from the party's new face, Navjot Singh Sidhu. And so far, the party's top brass appears clueless in its peace talks. The Gandhis, who denied Amrinder audience 2 weeks ago when he was in Delhi, have finally decided to meet him. Amrinder will be back in the capital to meet Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Sources tell India Today the meeting will give final shape to a truce formula to end the dissension in the Punjab unit. The meeting comes just a week after Sidhu's talks with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi in Delhi. The meetings were seen as a direct snub to Amrinder. But now, Sonia Gandhi's planned meeting with Amrinder has raised hopes of a ceasefire. The Congress is running out of time ahead of the elections next year and wants to end the strife as soon as possible.
समिति ने अपनी रिपोर्ट कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट को दे दी है। जुलाई के प्रथम सप्ताह तक 8-10 तारीख तक जो है कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट का निर्णय आ जाएगा।
Sidhu has been at loggerheads with Amrinder Singh over a series of issues, ranging from sacrilege of Guru Granth Sahib to police firing on protesters in 2016 to captain's alleged proximity to the Akalis. Peace between the two is key to Congress prospects in Punjab, which is just one of the 3 states where the party is in power on its own. Bureau Report, India Today.
And a lot of questions over what's cooking in Maharashtra. Are friends turned foes? BJP and Shiv Sena friends again? Well, back-to-back statements by Devendra Fadnavis and Sanjay Raut has sparked speculation of a Maha realignment. Sanjay Raut, in fact, compared the BJP Sena ties to Amir Khan and Kiran Rao's relationship, saying that the former allies are not enemies. Is the Maha Vikas Aghadi government set to be quacked by this newfound romance? Is the question everyone's asking.
हम क्या भारत पाकिस्तान है, हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान नहीं है ना ये। आप देखो आमिर खान और किरण राव रास्ते अलग हो गए लेकिन दोस्त हैं, बोला ना वैसे है ये।
That is Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut describing the love-hate relationship between the Shiv Sena and the BJP. Since the formation of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government, there has always been speculation of the Shiv Sena returning to its old ally. The rumour mills got a new life with Maharashtra CM Uddhav Thackeray's Delhi visit on June 8 ostensibly to raise the Maratha quota issue. Thackeray's meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi lasted almost 40 minutes, and the Maharashtra Chief Minister's comments after the meeting became the talk of the town.
आज राजनीतिक रूप में देखें तो हम उनके साथ नहीं हैं, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हमारा रिश्ता टूट गया है। मैंने कल भी बात कही थी, मेरे एक साक्षात्कार में शायद लोकसत्ता ने लिया था तब, तो इसमें कोई गलत बात नहीं है कि मैं अगर मिलूं, मैं कोई नवाज शरीफ से नहीं मिलने गया था, तो ऐसे अगर उनको कुछ मिले, मैं एक व्यक्तिगत रूप में मिलूं, अगर मैं मिल भी लूं, आज भी अभी मेरे साथी हैं, उनको कहूँगा कि मुझे दोबारा जाकर मिलना है, तो गलत बात क्या है उसमें?
Political pundits at that time speculated that the PM-CM talks were in response to another one, a mystery meet between Sharad Pawar and Amit Shah in Ahmedabad just a month before.
Even though NCP has clarified it many times that there was no meeting happened between Sharad Pawar and Amit Shah in Ahmedabad, Uddhav Thackeray, it seems, is not ready to believe it. And he wants to send a strong message that it's not only Pawar, but even he shares a good relations with the BJP top brass despite what happened in 2019 between Shiv Sena and BJP.
The demand for Sena-BJP reunion came first from Shiv Sainik MLA Pratap Sarnaik. The MLA suggested a Sena-BJP alliance will stop harassment from central agencies. Incidentally, Sarnaik is facing an ED probe in 2 cases.
राज्याच्या संघर्षामध्ये काही लोकप्रतिनिधींचा जो बळी जातोय त्यामध्ये एक प्रताप सरनाईक आहे आणि त्यामुळे ईडीचा ससेमिरा मागे आहे, न्यायालयीन प्रक्रिया त्याच्यामध्ये चालू आहे. त्यामुळे जास्त कुठलाही सोशल मीडिया किंवा मीडियाच्या माध्यमातून समोर न जाता आपल्या माध्यमातून जेवढे जास्तीत जास्त लोकांसाठी काम करता येईल तेवढा प्रयत्न माझा आहे आणि त्याची
The BJP is denying any outreach to the Shiv Sena but has gone soft on its former ally.
आमच्यात शत्रुत्व नव्हतंच ना कधी. शत्रू थोडी आहोत आम्ही. आमचे वैचारिक मतभेद झाले कारण आमचा हात सोडून आमच्यासोबत निवडून आलेले आमचे मित्र आमचा हात सोडून ज्यांच्या विरुद्ध निवडून आले त्यांचा हात पकडून निघून गेले. त्याच्यामुळे मतभेद उभे झाले ना. ते काही धुऱ्याचा वाद थोडी आहे की म्हणजे सुधीर भाऊचा धुरा काही उद्धवजीच्या धुऱ्याला लागू नये आणि त्यांनी यांच्या धुऱ्यावर काही अतिक्रमण केलं असं नाही आहे.
The recent legislative council elections, all 3 parties of the Mahavikas Aghadi contested together and won comfortably. Now this had sent warnings to the BJP that if all the 3 parties contest together in the 2024 elections, this would mean trouble for the Bharatiya Janata Party that has won 42 seats from Maharashtra in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Just like in the Shiv Sena, there is a section in the BJP that also believes that we should also go back to the tried and tested ally, Shiv Sena.
The series of statements by Thackeray, Sanjay Raut and Devendra Fadnavis have set the political corridors abuzz. Nearly 2 years after Thackeray broke ranks with the BJP, is Maharashtra going to witness a new act in the political drama that has seen many twists already? With Sahil Joshi and Kamlesh Sutar, Bureau Report, India Today.
In 2019, Rahul Gandhi spearheaded his party's campaign for the elections over the alleged corruption in the Rafale deal. It backfired because the Supreme Court gave a clean chit to the deal. Now, a French court has ordered a judicial probe over charges of corruption and favoritism in the same deal, and the opposition parties have used it to up the ante now for a joint parliamentary committee probe.
It was Rahul Gandhi's calling card for the Lok Sabha elections in 2019. 2 years later, the Rafale defense deal is back in the news. The French Public Prosecution Services have ordered a judicial probe into charges of corruption and favoritism in the 59,000 crore rupees deal between France and India. Rahul Gandhi has once again launched a scathing attack on the Prime Minister. The Congress MP, in an Instagram post, mocks the Prime Minister's beard with the caption Chor ki dadi, meaning thief's beard. The post has sparked a war of words between Congress and BJP.
570 करोड़ की चीज 1670 में क्यों खरीदी गई? 126 विमान आने थे, सिर्फ 36 क्यों खरीदे गए? भ्रष्टाचार नहीं होना चाहिए, दलाल नहीं होने चाहिए, ये क्लॉजेस क्यों हटा दिए? देश के सवाल स्पष्ट हैं और आपकी चुप्पी भी बड़ी स्पष्ट है।
राफेल को लेकर जिस प्रकार कांग्रेस पार्टी ने झूठ बोला है, जिस प्रकार से एक भ्रम फैलाने की कोशिश की है, वो हम सब ने देखा है। वहां की जो इन्वेस्टिगेटिव फाइनेंशियल प्रोसिक्यूशन की बॉडी है, उन्होंने एक मैजिस्ट्रेट अपॉइंट किया है, तो इसको एक करप्शन के रूप में देखने की आवश्यकता है, ये हमें नहीं लगता है।
With the French starting an investigation, opposition parties in India are calling for an investigation here too. Former Defence Minister A.K. Antony has demanded a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Rafale deal. He says the intriguing silence of Modi government points towards malintent to hush up the corruption. The refusal of the BJP government to probe and punish the guilty is even more astonishing, pointing towards a concerted effort to bury the scam. The CPM and the Bahujan Samaj Party have also joined the call for a JPC. The Narendra Modi government so far has ruled out any investigation, citing the clean chit from the Supreme Court in 2018. Bureau Report, India Today.
The Centre versus Twitter war is back in courts because the Delhi High Court will today be hearing a petition filed against Twitter for its non-compliance of the IT norms. The plea that's been filed by advocate Amit Acharya had raised a complaint that Twitter has not appointed a grievance officer. Now, the petition also raised a complaint regarding certain tweets by political leaders. In the affidavit against the microblogging site, the Centre had on Monday said that Twitter is a significant social media intermediary and is obligated to comply with the IT rules 2021. The Centre said Twitter failed to comply, which is the law of the land, the new IT rules. Centre's affidavit comes days after Twitter had filed its own version, where Twitter claimed that it's in the process of going ahead and appointing a grievance officer and that they had otherwise completely complied with the IT rules. Let's move on to some other stories. We're tracking this morning the CBSE announcing a new scheme for class 10 and 12 board exams. This is for the 2021-22 session, wherein the academic year will be divided into two halves with approximately 50% syllabus in each term. The first term exam will be held in November and December, the second term exam in March and April. Here's a breakdown of exactly what the CBSE assessment is all about.
Continuing school closures, exam disruptions due to COVID-19. The deadly pandemic has pushed the Central Board of Secondary Education to come up with a new assessment scheme. The Central Board has divided the 2021-2022 academic year into two terms. 50% of the syllabus will be covered in the first term. A test will also be conducted. First term exams will be held between November and December over 4 to 8 weeks. The question paper will have multiple choice questions and the duration of the test will be 90 minutes. Marks of the term will contribute to the final overall score of students. The second term examination will be scheduled between March and April and the duration of this exam will be 2 hours. The question paper in term 2 will have different formats like long and short answers. In case the situation is not conducive for normal descriptive examination, a 90-minute exam based on multiple choice questions will be conducted at the end of term 2 as well. Marks of term 2 will also contribute to the final overall score. In case the COVID situation improves, the board would conduct term 1 and 2 examinations at centers. If the pandemic forces closure of schools during November and December 2021, term 1 exams would be online from home. In this event, the weightage of this exam would be reduced and Term 2 exam weightage would be increased. If the pandemic forces closure of schools during March and April of 2022, results would be based on Term 1 exams and internal assessments. Weightage of Term 1 marks would then increase. If the pandemic forces complete closure of schools in Term 1 and in Term 2, then the results would be computed on the basis of internal assessments, project work, and Term 1 and 2 online exams. The CBSE decision comes after the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic forced cancellations of year-end board examinations. Bureau Report, India Today.